nightmare walks among the living. They call her La Morlona, the Fanged Woman, a creature of vengeance and hunger, forever cursed to roam the Andean region of Huila and Tolima. She appears as a woman of haunting beauty, draped in a flowing dress that clings to her form like mist upon the hills. Her eyes smoulder with an unnatural fire, her lips curl in a knowing smile. Many men have followed her into the shadows, lured by her gaze, bewitched by the sway of her hips, but those who get too close never return, for beneath her crimson lips lie fangs as long as a jaguar's, gleaming like polished ivory. When she smiles, it is already too late. Her embrace is not of love, but of death. Her jaws part wide, tearing through flesh, crushing bone like dry leaves beneath her teeth. She is no mindless beast. She hunts with purpose. The cruel, the deceitful, the unfaithful, men who abandon their wives, who mistreat the innocent, who revel in sin. She waits in the dim glow of taverns, in lonely mountain passes, in the darkest corners of forgotten trails, and when her prey is near, she whispers their names with a voice like the rustling of dead leaves. Some claim to have seen her shadow lingering at the edges of the firelight, watching with cold amusement. Others swear that, on moonless nights, they hear the crunch of bones beneath unseen feet. The villagers speak in hushed tones, warning young men to stay true, to be good, to resist temptation, lest they find themselves alone in the dark, staring into the burning eyes of La Morlona. And if you ever feel a soft breath against your neck, if you hear your name spoken by lips you cannot see, do not turn around. Has haunted the corners of Eastern Europe for centuries. The golem is not a creature of grace. It is slow, lumbering, and awkward in its movements, a giant made of lifeless matter, animated only by the dark magic that gives it form. Its body is a rough, uneven mass of clay or rock, patched together with crude seams, and its face is blank, expressionless, an unfeeling mask devoid of humanity. Some say it was created to serve its master, a protector summoned from the earth itself to do his bidding. Others whisper that the golem was born from desperation, created by a rabbi or wizard to avenge wrongs too terrible to bear. In modern Hebrew, the word golem translates to cocoon, but it also carries darker meanings: fool, silly, or stupid. And indeed, the golem is often described as lacking in intelligence, nothing more than a clumsy tool of destruction, incapable of independent thought or action. But this is where the terror begins, because while the golem is a mindless servant, it is also a force of nature, a brute, unstoppable and powerful, with strength far beyond that of any human. Once unleashed, it will follow its master's commands without question, no matter how horrific. And yet, when those commands are left unclear or unrestrained, the creature can become a terror in its own right, wreaking havoc in its mindless pursuit inscription of a word, often placed on a piece of parchment and placed inside its mouth. Without this word, the creature is a blank slate, mindless and deadly, its power unchecked. In the ancient stories, there were whispers of golems running amok, destroying villages, crushing anyone who crossed their path, all because their creators failed to control them. And so, the golem is a warning, a tale of what happens when humanity meddles too far with the natural order, summoning forces they cannot control. Some say the golem still walks the earth, waiting for a master to breathe life back into its stone heart. But be careful, if the golem ever awakens again, it will not stop, no matter how clumsy or foolish its creators may have been. In the heart of downtown Augusta, Georgia, stands a relic from a forgotten time. A pillar, now weathered and decaying, but still towering ominously over the abandoned space where a bustling farmer's market once thrived. Known as the Haunted Pillar, it has long been a source of fear and unease for those who live nearby. The legend of the Haunted Pillar dates back many years, when the farmer's market at 5th and Broad Streets was a lively hub of trade and community. But something dark lingered there, something that would forever tie the pillar to tragedy. Some say the market was built on cursed land, a place steeped in forgotten rituals and hidden sorrow. Others whisper that the pillar was not always just stone, but a marker for something far darker, an object of sacrifice, or a binding spell that trapped spirits. When the market was abandoned, the pillar was the only thing left standing, silent, unmoving, and strange. Over the years, stories began to circulate. People claimed that at night they would see flickering lights near the pillar, or hear hushed voices carried by the wind. Those who ventured too close often reported a sense of suffocating dread, as if the air itself were heavy with the presence of something malevolent. Some even spoke of seeing figures, a shadowed form standing motionless by the pillar, watching passers-by with hollow eyes. But the true terror came from those who dared touch the pillar. Several individuals have disappeared after doing so, their fates unknown, leaving behind only whispers of their names. Locals believe the pillar is cursed, an unholy sentinel that guards its dark secrets, waiting for the next soul foolish enough to test its power. Now, the pillar stands alone, a twisted monument to something that should never be disturbed. And those who walk near it at night often feel a cold, unsettling presence, like something is watching, waiting for them to make a mistake. Some say the haunted pillar is simply a relic of the past. Others know better, and they avoid it, never daring to get too close. In the shadowy realm of Latin American folklore, a sinister whisper of the cuckoo stirs unease during the darkest hours. Known as the malevolent counterpart to the benign boogeyman of other cultures, the cuckoo is a creature of nightmares, thriving on the fears of both the young and old. This ghostly monster is no mere invention to coax children into obedience, but a terrifying spectre believed to lurk in the shadows of the night, waiting to snatch away those who dare defy the veil of night stillness. The legend of the cuckoo has been passed down through generations, a chilling narrative that varies slightly from region to region, but maintains its core essence. The cuckoo is a shapeless, shadowy figure, often depicted as a small, hunched being with glowing red eyes that peers through the darkness. It hides in closets, under beds, or in the dense foliage But once the cuckoo sets its sights on you, escape is nearly impossible. Its presence is always cloaked in the rustling of leaves or the soft creaks of a settling house, its breath a cold gust foretelling doom. Elders in the community speak of their own fearful encounters, of nights filled with inexplicable cold drafts and fleeting shadows seen from the corners of their eyes. They recount stories of friends long gone, spirited away by the cuckoo, leaving behind nothing but a chilling silence and an unspoken warning to heed the boundaries set by the light. Some tales take a more gruesome turn, describing how the cuckoo feeds on fear, drawing closer with each terrified heartbeat. The more you fear, the stronger it becomes. Its whisper, a sound like the dragging of chains in the depths of the unseen. Those who listen closely on windy nights might still hear the faint cries of its victims, a permanent echo of their eternal torment. To confront the cuckoo is to face an ancient and relentless evil, a reminder of the dark corners of the world where old spirits refuse to be forgotten. It is a creature born from the darkness of the human psyche, a manifestation of the terror of the unknown and the unseen. In the lore of Latin America, the cuckoo remains a potent symbol of the night's darkest reach, a spectre forever waiting in the shadowy fringes of fear. The urban legend of Melody is Dead is a haunting tale that continues to send chills through the music world. It revolves around the mysterious claim that Spanish singer Melody, famed for her vibrant songs and youthful charm, met a tragic end in a horrifying airplane accident. Though completely unsubstantiated, the eerie whispers surrounding her supposed demise have refused to fade. The legend begins with rumours that spread like wildfire online and through hushed conversations among fans. It was said that Melody, at the height of her career, had boarded a private jet bound for a performance, only for the aircraft to vanish mid-flight. According to the story, the plane never reached its destination, instead crashing into an uncharted area where no wreckage was ever found. Some say the skies that day were clear, making the disappearance all the more chilling, as if some malevolent force had taken her. What makes the tale even stranger is the persistence of her music. Fans claim to have heard faint distortions in her recordings, ghostly echoes or whispered words embedded in the tracks that weren't there before. Some even report seeing her likeness in unexpected places, faint reflections in mirrors or blurred figures in crowds, as though she's trying to reach out from beyond. The name Melody itself became a key part of the legend. Though her real name, Melodia, should have clarified things, it was said that the mistaken moniker Melody was tied to her spectral presence, a way for her restless spirit to keep her memory alive in the minds of her fans. Of course, the truth is that Melody is very much alive, continuing her career despite the rumours. But the legend lingers, a cautionary tale about the power of stories to blur the line between reality and the supernatural. And for those who still hear the faint echoes in her songs, one question remains. If Melody isn't gone, then who or what is singing to them in the dark? In the dark, frozen winter of February 1855, the people of East and South Devon awoke to a scene that would haunt them for years. As dawn broke, a trail of strange, unearthly footprints marred the fresh snow, weaving through the precision. These prints, soon to be called the Devil's Footprints, left a mark of terror and mystery across Devon, as villagers whispered tales of the devil himself stalking their lands. The footprints were unlike anything seen before. They stretched in a single line, each print spaced with eerie regularity, each one an unmistakable hoof shape, cloven and pointed, as if made by a creature far from this world. Stranger still, the prints were measured precisely 8 inches apart, suggesting a creature that moved with unerring speed and purpose. They crossed through fields, over rivers, and even appeared on rooftops, ignoring natural obstacles as if they were nothing. No walls, hedges, or even snow-covered thatched roofs hindered the path of these prints. It was as though something had passed through Devon, defying the laws of nature and mocking human understanding. The villagers were gripped by fear. Some claimed it was a demon, or perhaps even Satan himself, paying a visit to remind them of his presence. Priests were called to bless homes, while locals huddled around fires, hoping that warmth and prayer might keep the dark force at bay. Those who dared to follow the footprints were led through twisted paths, only to find themselves back where they started, as if the creature had moved in circles, toying with its pursuers. Sightings of strange, shadowy figures spread rapidly. A farmer reported hearing faint, mocking laughter as he walked alone through the woods one night, his eyes catching a fleeting glimpse of a dark form in the trees. Another villager swore that she saw a pair of glowing red eyes watching from her window, disappearing only when she crossed herself and muttered a prayer. Tales like these fueled the belief that the devil's footprints were not just a physical presence, but a sign of something deeply sinister lurking just beyond sight. The phenomenon lasted for a single, harrowing night, the footprints stretching for miles before they abruptly vanished as mysteriously as they had appeared. In the days that followed, the snow melted and the tracks faded into legend, yet the fear remained. People spoke of it in hushed tones, glancing over their shoulders, as if expecting the devil to return, his footprints renewed in fresh snow. To this day, no one has explained the devil's footprints. Were they a prank, a trick of nature, or something far darker, a message from the underworld itself? The villagers of Devon may never know, but one thing is certain. On cold, moonlit nights, when the winter's silence deepens, relax and unwind as we delve into the eerie tale of the Buckley family, an urban legend shrouded in mystery. Let the chilling story guide you gently into a deep, peaceful sleep. The Buckley family urban legend revolves around a chilling photograph of 2 children who reportedly murdered their mother on Halloween night. The story begins with the discovery of an old, grainy, black and white photo found in an abandoned house, showing a young boy and girl standing side by side. At first glance, the picture seems innocent, but upon closer inspection, there's something unnerving about the children's blank expressions. The story behind the photo is far more sinister. According to legend, the Buckley family lived in a quiet neighbourhood in the 1950s. On Halloween, the 2 Buckley children, who were around 10 and 12 years old, brutally murdered their mother in cold blood. They supposedly planned the murder for weeks, waiting for the perfect night when no one would suspect their horrific intentions. Some versions of the tale say the children wore Halloween costumes to hide their identities, making it harder for the neighbours to realise the terrible act they had committed. After killing their mother, the children left her body in the house and calmly walked outside, as if nothing had happened. When the authorities arrived, the children were found sitting on the porch, eerily silent, still wearing their costumes, their hands stained with blood. The photograph that surfaced after the incident is said to have been taken moments before or after the murder, capturing the children in their eerie calmness. Some believe the image was discovered by the police as part of their investigation, investigation, while others say it was found years later in the abandoned Buckley house, where the children had been left to live after the tragedy. The whereabouts of the children after the murder remain unknown, adding to the mystery and fear surrounding the story. Over time, the Buckley family legend became a popular urban myth, with various retellings on online forums and in ghost story circles. The photograph itself has become a symbol of fear, said to be cursed. Anyone who gazes at it too long or too often experiences terrible nightmares, or even worse, finds themselves drawn into the same darkness that consumed the Buckley children. The Buckley family tale continues to be passed down as a reminder of the horrors that can lurk behind seemingly innocent faces, forever leaving a haunting impression on those who hear it. Tonight, we bring you the amusing tale of the baby train. Relax as we explore this light-hearted urban legend of how a simple train whistle led to an unexpected baby boom. The baby train is a humorous urban legend that tells the story of a small town with an unusually high birth rate, allegedly caused by an early morning train. According to the legend, a train would pass through the town every day at 5 a.m, blowing its whistle loudly and waking up the residents. Because it was too late to go back to sleep, but still too early to start their day, many couples would turn to each other and engage in intimate activities to pass the time. This, the story goes, led to a surprising mini baby boom in the town. The charm of the baby train legend lies in a simple, almost innocent explanation for the town's population growth. The idea that a regular and mundane event like a train whistle can influence something as significant as the town's birth rate adds to the humour and appeal of the story. It's a light-hearted and somewhat plausible tale that can easily be shared at parties or over casual conversations, evoking smiles and laughter. Despite its amusing premise, there is no evidence to support the claim that any town experienced a population boom because of an early morning train. Like many urban legends, the baby train story likely originated as a joke or exaggeration and spread through word of mouth, gaining momentum as people enjoyed its quirky logic. Over time, it became a part of urban folklore, continuing to circulate despite the lack of factual basis. Ultimately, the baby train remains a playful legend, a reminder of how easily a funny story can take on a life of its own, even when it's based on nothing more than a clever idea. While there may not be a real town with a baby boom caused by a train whistle, the legend endures as an example of how myths and tales can blend everyday life with unexpected outcomes. Tonight, we journey to Iowa City, where the eerie legend of the Black Angel awaits. Let the mysterious tale of this cursed statue guide you into a peaceful and restful sleep. The Black Angel is a haunting urban legend centered around a statue in Oakland Cemetery, Iowa City. The statue, standing over 8 feet tall, was erected in 1912 to mark the grave of Teresa Feldovert, a woman of Czech descent. Over time, the statue gained a sinister reputation, and many locals began to believe it was cursed. The Black Angel originally had a bright bronze colour, but as the years passed, it darkened to a deeper black, which fueled the legend's eerie narrative. Some say the change in colour represents the anger or grief of Teresa's spirit. Others believe the blackened statue is an omen of death, with various warnings attached to it. One popular belief is that anyone who touches or kisses the statue will be met with an untimely death. Another variation claims that those who look directly into the angel's eyes at midnight will be cursed. The statue's mysterious appearance, combined with its dark colour and imposing presence, has made it a popular site for paranormal enthusiasts and thrill seekers. Many visit the cemetery to test the legend, while others keep their distance, unwilling to risk the supposed curse. Though the Black Angel story is rooted in local folklore, the real cause of the statue's discoloration is simply weathering and oxidation of the bronze. Despite this, the legend remains a captivating part of Iowa City's history, continuing to intrigue and frighten those who hear it. Whether cursed or not, the Black Angel stands as a reminder of how myths can grow around even the most ordinary objects. A chilling synchronicity, a tapestry of eerie parallels woven across the fabric of time. The Lincoln-Kennedy coincidences, a list of uncanny similarities between two fallen presidents, Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy, a pattern so improbable, so unsettling, it whispers of a conspiracy beyond human comprehension. Lincoln, elected to Congress in 1846, Kennedy, elected to Congress in 1946. A century separates their ascents, yet the echoes of fate resonate through time. Lincoln, elected president in 1860, Kennedy, elected president in 1960. Another century passes, the same eerie symmetry repeating itself. Both men, champions of civil rights, struck down by assassins' bullets, their lives cut short in their prime. The coincidences continue, each one more chilling than the last. Both presidents were succeeded by Southern Democrats named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, born in 1808, Lyndon B. Johnson, born in 1908. Both assassins, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, were known by their three names, both shot in the head from behind. Booth, born in 1839, Oswald, born in 1939. The echoes of fate grow louder, the pattern more insistent. Lincoln's secretary, Kennedy, warned him not to go to the theatre. Kennedy's secretary, Lincoln, warned him not to go to Dallas. Both warnings, tragically unheeded. Booth shot Lincoln in a theatre and was captured in a warehouse. Oswald shot Kennedy from a warehouse and was captured in a theatre. The symmetry, perfect, terrifying, whispers of a predetermined destiny. Is it mere coincidence? A random alignment of events? A statistical anomaly? Or does it hint at something darker? A hidden hand orchestrating the destinies of men? A chilling premonition? A prophecy fulfilled? A pattern etched in the fabric of time, waiting to be revealed? And then, the most unsettling detail of all, both Lincoln and Kennedy, they say, had premonitions of their own deaths, visions of a dark future eerie evening of September the 20th, 1965, in the quiet seaside town of Felixstowe, England, a terrifying event unfolded, one that would become known as the legend of the Felixstowe fire demon. Witnesses claimed to have seen something unnatural that night, an encounter so horrifying that it would haunt the town's memory for years to come. It began with strange lights in the sky. Around midnight, residents reported seeing glowing red and orange orbs floating above the coastline, moving with unnatural speed and precision. These lights were unlike any aircraft known at the time, pulsing with a fiery intensity that seemed almost alive. But it wasn't the lights that struck fear into the hearts of Felixstowe's residents. It was what came next. A young couple, drawn by the unusual lights, ventured closer to the shore. As they approached, a figure emerged from the darkness, illuminated by the fiery glow. They described it as a tall, humanoid being, yet something was horribly wrong. The creature's body seemed to shimmer with a heatwave-like distortion, as though it was surrounded by invisible flames. Its eyes were fiery embers, burning with a malevolent red glow that seemed to pierce straight into their souls. The couple stood frozen as the entity approached, its movements slow and deliberate, almost predatory. A faint crackling sound, like the hiss of burning coals, filled the air, and the air around them grew stiflingly hot. The creature stretched out a long, claw-like hand, and in that moment, the couple fled, overwhelmed by an overwhelming sense of dread. They ran through the darkened streets, their minds reeling from what they'd just encountered. Other townspeople reported feeling an inexplicable heat that night, even inside their homes, as if the fire demon had cast a spell of warmth across the entire town. Some claimed that the creature had left scorched footprints along the beach, deep impressions jarred into the sand that no waves could wash away. But by morning, there was no trace of the creature, only the lingering terror of its fiery gaze and the charred marks left in its wake. Local authorities dismissed the event, attributing the lights to atmospheric phenomena and the creature to the overactive imaginations of frightened witnesses. But those who saw the Felixstowe fire demon knew the truth. A being from another world, forged in fire, had stepped into their world, leaving a scar in Felixstowe's memory that would never fade. Today, the legend of the Felixstowe fire demon endures, a chilling reminder that some mysteries defy explanation. On stormy nights, when the sea crashes against the shore, residents sometimes claim to see a fiery glow flickering in the distance, as if the fire demon still haunts the coast, waiting to emerge from the shadows once again. We dive into the unsettling tale of the Colander lie detector, a strange and eerie urban legend. Settle in, relax, and let this mysterious story guide you gently into sleep. An eerie urban legend from the 1960s speaks of a chilling interrogation method used by police or army investigators. It began with a crude yet unsettling setup. A colander, typically used for straining pasta, repurposed into a nightmarish piece of equipment. The investigators would place this everyday kitchen item onto the head of a suspect, but its sinister transformation didn't end there. Wires connected the colander to a photocopier, creating the illusion of advanced technology. In a dimly lit interrogation room, the suspect would sit nervously as the investigators loomed over them, watching intently. The tension was palpable, the walls closing in as the suspect was bombarded with questions. The investigators' eyes would dart back and forth between the suspect and the machine, waiting for the first crack in their story. Each time the suspect answered, the photocopier would whir to life, spitting out a fresh sheet of paper. The sound of its mechanical churning filled the room, amplifying the sense of dread. If the answer was deemed acceptable, the machine remained silent, offering a brief respite. But response suspicious or dishonest, the copier would hiss and clunk, printing a single sheet with a damning message. He's lying. The effect was immediate. Suspects, already frazzled and scared, would crumble under the pressure of the so-called lie detector, convinced that the colander was exposing their every falsehood. They couldn't know that it was all a cruel trick. The investigators manipulated the machine, not through science or technology, but through psychological warfare. The power of suggestion turned the colander and photocopier into terrifying tools, blurring the line between reality and fiction. Some say the interrogators used this method for years, laughing behind closed doors at how easily their victims were broken by the sight of a kitchen utensil on their head. But as with any legend, the line between truth and myth is thin. Stories began to circulate of suspects who couldn't handle the pressure, of minds unravelling as they became trapped in a game where the stakes felt life or death. Whispers of the colander lie detector persist, and while it's easy to dismiss it as a bizarre tale from the past, one can't help but wonder if, somewhere in a dark corner of the world, the machine is still being used, waiting to catch its next victim in its web of fear and deception. The 100th monkey effect is a chilling phenomenon that haunts the minds of those who dare explore the boundaries between the known and the unknown. It begins with a seemingly innocent discovery. A monkey on a remote island learns a new behaviour, perhaps washing food in the ocean before eating it. At first, it's a solitary act, unremarkable, until something terrifying happens. As more monkeys observe this behaviour, they too adopt it, until one day a mysterious threshold is crossed. When the number of monkeys practicing the behaviour reaches a certain point, around 100, the change begins to spread, not just among the monkeys on that island, but across the entire archipelago. It's as if an invisible thread links them all, transmitting the new behaviour without explanation, defying logic and reaching groups that have never encountered one another. But that's not all. The 100th monkey effect goes deeper, darker. Those who study it whisper that once this critical mass is reached, the new idea or behaviour doesn't just spread, it infects the very consciousness of the entire species. The behaviour becomes universal, and with it, something more ominous. Some claim that this event taps into a collective mind, an eerie hive consciousness, where knowledge, ideas, and even emotions can spread without direct contact. What if the effect isn't just for monkeys? What if it could extend beyond animals? What if once a critical number of minds, humans, even, align in thought, the ripple effects could reach across the globe? And what would happen if the collective mind, once awakened,